Welcome back, everybody. This is Retro Replay with a retro review of Batman the video game for the Nintendo Game Boy. Batman the video game was released in North America in June of 1990 and developed by Sunsoft. This video game release was right after the 1989 movie Batman, which featured Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. And from what I can tell, those are the characters that are also shown in this game. One thing you'll notice here as we get started in stage 1-1 is Batman's sprite and how odd looking it is and how, I guess, tiny it is. He looks like a little person, which is just very strange artwork for this game. A lot of the enemy character sprites are also very small. They're about the same height as these barrels that are shown on the screen. But once you get to some of the boss fights against Jack and the Joker, their sprites are quite a bit larger, which just makes the whole thing very strange. The next thing you may notice about this game as we get moving here is the absolute kickin' soundtrack. That's one of the best aspects of this game is the music. It is excellently done for the Game Boy. The premise of this game is pretty simple. At its roots, it's just a side-scrolling platformer with some shooter elements. And what's really strange is that Batman can only attack by shooting. He doesn't have any physical punch or kick attacks. It's all shooting. Even though most of the shooting is done using Batman-style gadgets, there's no actual physical attacks, which is a little strange. As we're going through some of this gameplay footage here, you'll see me shooting some darker platform squares. You can see right there in front of me, there's a darker square. The darker ones, when you shoot them, have an item located behind them. Sometimes that is a better gun, a different style of gun. Right here, it is an extra man, an extra life. Sometimes there's a heart. The hearts give you health back in your health meter up in the top right of the screen. It's just different every time, and usually the harder it is to get to, the harder the block is to get to, the rarer the item is that's behind it. And here we are at the first boss fight of the game against Jack Napier, who is the Joker, of course. You can see how much larger his sprite is than Batman. It's just very strange. Nowhere in the movie or the other games or anything is the Joker or Jack supposed to be that much larger than Batman. It's just a very odd decision to go with it that way. And maybe it was a technical decision. I don't really know. You fight Jack / the Joker a couple times in this game. And both times he is a total bullet sponge. I actually cut down the footage there, I edited it out. And you can see him falling into the vat of acid, which turns him into the Joker here. That's another thing that's really cool about this game are these little cutscenes that they have. The artwork is really cool. The game is fairly short. It is comprised of, I guess you could use the term worlds. It is comprised of 4 worlds with varying numbers of stages. Typically, it's 2 or 3 stages with a boss fight of some sort at the end, but that's not always the case. So there are just 4 worlds. Get through them here pretty quick. I do edit this footage a bit to shorten the time down. The total gameplay time of this is about an hour or so. It's not that long of a game, but I did edit it down for the sake of this video. And again, the music is just really cool in this game. They do a great job. As you get through these different stages, the theme of the stages change, the locations change to different locations from the movies, and the music changes to match it. It's just very well done. There's also quite a few different enemy sprites in this game that you have to fight against. They change from level to level, sort of. You can see right there, they're different looking enemies. Even right here, they've got these wide-brimmed hats on. They just change throughout the game as we go through this. The controls in the game are okay. The way Batman moves is kind of weird. His jumping is sort of floaty. It takes a little bit to get used to. He does float from side to side sometimes, but it's fairly easy to get used to as you go through the game. So there we are, ending World 2, Stage 2-3, and there's no boss fight at the end of that one. And it immediately breaks into World 3 here, which, if you look at this, it's a completely different game. And how cool is this? We have 2 full stages of shoot-'em-up style gameplay in the Batwing. And this is just total chaos. It was so much fun going through this. This was just a great surprise getting to this part of the game. There are these mini boss fights. I guess you could consider them boss fights at the end of stage 3-1 and 3-2. So there's only 2 stages in these Batwing stages, the Batwing world, I guess you could say. And there are these mini sub-bosses at the end of each. I died a few times going through these, which I didn't want to put you through, so I'm just showing you my successful runs here. But this was quite fun going through these. This was really cool. One thing about the shooting here, when I first started these Batwing stages, I was slamming on the button. I was tapping them very fast. And the way it works is the A button shoots forward and the B button shoots backwards. And I'm switching between them, tapping them as fast as I can. And after a few tries, I realized that all you have to do is just hold them in. So going through these stages, I just held in the A and B buttons and just constantly was shooting frontwards and backwards. It made them a lot easier, but it's still very challenging. This stage 3-2 was very challenging to get through. There's a lot of different enemies coming across the stage from the top, the bottom, left, and right. They're coming from all over the place. This was almost had a feeling of a bullet hell game, which was fun and quite challenging. This was great. And here is the sub-boss at the end of stage 3-2, and this is the end of the Batwing stages. I wish there was more of this. This was quite fun. This game was also somewhat reminiscent of Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land did the same thing. It was only 4 worlds, and there was a world of shoot-'em-up stages, which was really surprising, and this does the same thing. And again, that artwork is so cool. It's so well done, especially for the limited colors of the Game Boy. Here we are entering the final world, World 4, Stage 4-1. 4-1 isn't too bad. There are a lot of enemies coming across the stage. The actual theme of the stage is really cool. I don't know what this actually is from the movie itself, but it is pretty cool. This gun I have here is great. It shoots through walls. Then you can also get these Batwing shield things that fly around you. You can actually get 2 of them. And they actually attack the enemies too, so if the enemy touches that, they will die. But this stage 4-1 wasn't too bad. It ramps up in difficulty majorly after this level though, which we'll see here in just a minute. We're about at the end of stage 4-1 here, about to enter into stage 4-2, which is the final stage of the game before the Joker. And this level just about broke me. It is an automatic side-scrolling level, so the camera is constantly panning and pushing you to the right, and there is really heavy, difficult platforming. And if you don't make it, you will fall off the stage. There are these cannons shooting you all over the place. Very narrow ledges, like right there, that you have to jump onto without getting hit, but I got hit almost every time. I died probably 20 times going through this level. I did use save states heavily going through this, or else I don't think I would have been able to get through this just on the 8 lives that I have. I was heavily using save states, especially this section here was so difficult to get through. I make it look easy because I'm just showing the first try getting through here, but it was extremely difficult. And here we are at the final boss fight against the Joker. And again, look how much larger his sprite is than Batman. This was a very difficult boss fight. He's also a bullet sponge. It took me quite a few tries to get past him. Once I learned his patterns pretty well, it wasn't too bad. I did actually use save states a couple times in the middle of this fight if I was doing well, just so I could try to get through this. It was pretty painstaking. I did have this game as a kid. I don't know that I ever beat it, especially this final set of levels, World 4, because 4-2 and this Joker fight were very difficult. And again, I think as a kid, I don't think I ever got past this. And there we go, the end of the Joker. Batman is successful, and again, great artwork. This is from the movie, the Joker falling to his death. Well, quote unquote, his death. He never really dies, does he? But what a great ending to the game. Great artwork. Again, this game has great music. The gameplay is okay. It is just a platformer. It's kind of strange for a Batman game. But it was fun to come back and go through. It was a good experience to come back to this, and finally finish the game, even though I had to use modern save state technology to get through the game. It was still quite fun to do. I would definitely recommend this game to anyone that likes Batman-themed games. This was really fun. If you're into side-scroller platformers, also a very fun game to try. It is short, so it'll just take you an hour or two to get through. If you have a device like an EverDrive that you can do save states, that obviously makes it a lot easier to make it through the game. I did die a lot in World 4. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I think I'll wrap this up here. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell icon so you get notified the next time I upload videos. Thank you all for checking out my retro review of Batman the video game for the Nintendo Game Boy. Thanks again.